Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to use Keepa and we're going to go through Keepa Product Finder to use different filters to try and refine our search when we're sourcing products to sell via Amazon FBA as an arbitrage seller. So what you want to do is you want to come to Keepa and you want to go to Data, Product Finder, and then we can start going through the filters. It seems really overwhelming to a lot of people at first, and I get it, there's a lot of data, but I promise the more you practice, the more you play around with your own filters, the more you'll get accustomed to how it works, and I promise you, it's not too bad. So to start things off, we're gonna set our filter for sales rank. Okay, so you can actually go to SellerAmp SaaS. We recommend people use SellerAmp and Keepa in conjunction so that you can do the most accurate product analysis when you're looking. If you come into SellerAmp SaaS, you can go to Help and Sales Rank Table. We are selling in the UK, so I'm just going to make sure UK selected. And they have got a very cool compiled list of what the best sellers rank is per category on Amazon. Ideally, you want to sell in the top 2% BSR, so that would be this one over here. Anything above 2% BSR typically won't sell enough or won't sell at all, so I'm not even going to look. For the purposes of this video, let's go through beauty. Beauty is probably the most popular category for people to source in, especially VAs. With Keepa Product Finder, the idea is I want to set as many of these filters as I can to refine down the amount of products that Keepa shows me. So if I choose the top 1% BSR in beauty, that's 66,512. So let's go to here. This is saying it's going to show me products between sales rank of 1, let's say, and 66,500. Let's say. I'm only going to see products where the sales rank is between 1 and 66,500. And you can see the API request here is 7.7 million products. That is way too many products. It would take all day. Obviously, if you wanted to go top 2% BSR, you could add these numbers here, and you can see that depending on the category, these numbers are different, and that's because different categories have different sales velocities from each other. So beauty might sell a hell of a lot more than DIY and tools, for example. Okay, so if we go back here, so we're going to keep filling in these filters, and we're going to keep refining down this number. So me as a seller, I don't want to sell anything less than £20 to begin with, and maybe in the beauty category, I might max that to, I don't know, £200 if you wanted to. In this video, I'm just going to click. Yep, so that's drilled it down to 2 million. I think for this video, because beauty tends to have slightly cheaper products, let's go £10, and I'm not going to set a max. So that's just under 4 million products. I'm going to scroll past these. By all means, you can select if you want Amazon out of stock on the listing. That will bring it down to 3.3. I'm going to untick it. I'm going to scrolly. Okay, so we wanted to look in the beauty category, so I'm going to select that here. That's 86,814 products. So you can see we're already getting that number down. You can go even further. So if I wanted to search for moisturizers, face creams, things like that, I could add them as keywords into this. So what did I say? Moisturizer. Okay, so I could do moisturizer here if I wanted to, and that would drill it down to 2,845 products. If I keep scrolling. Okay, so the offer count, that is the amount of sellers, competitor sellers on the listing. Typically, if a listing has fewer than 1 or 2 sellers, or not fewer than 1, fewer than 3 sellers, that's a chance that the product is a private label product, which we can't sell. With Keepa Product Finder, you will often find that if you find products that are less than 3 offers on the listing, it's almost always private label. So I'm going to hit 3 in this one. And if I wanted to, I might say, I want to try and find products that have between 3 and, I don't know, 15 sellers max on, and that might bring it down to 1,070. That's not too bad. So we're going to keep trying to drill that number down. The buy box seller, we want them to be a third-party seller in this instance. I don't want to find products where Amazon is controlling the buy box. Although you absolutely can sell products with Amazon on the listing. With these filters, I just want to have a look for ones without them. We're not interested in used, which you're not going to see a lot of these in beauty anyway, so it's probably not going to change. Went to 0 for a second there, that was weird. When you're doing storefront sourcing, you can actually collect seller IDs lists and you can add them into here. So you can specifically use Keepa product filtering to do more efficient storefront sourcing, which is really cool. I'll do that in another video. We're going to get rid of digital products and ebooks. Not going to get a lot of those in beauty anyway. You absolutely can and should sell products with variations, totally fine. Again, just for this video, I want to get this number down. So 528, we've already gotten that down really, really well. I'm going to keep going down. What else have we got? So this only works if Amazon on the listing says how many have been bought in the last month. So, there's going to be loads of products that have sold 30 in the last month, but you'll notice it doesn't work sometimes. So if you want if you want another way to do that, sales rank drops. If I say I only want to see products that are, 15 to 20, let's go with 22. What happens? 20 sales rank drops in the last month, 155 products. That's gotten that down a lot. Let's go with 15. So what that means is the higher the sales rank, it's like golf. The higher the sales rank, the lower it sells. Every time a product sells, its sales rank will change, which will drop it. And the lower the sales rank, so if it's close to sales rank 1, that means it sells incredibly quickly on Amazon. So we got 347 products from that. Yeah, 347 products. I don't personally like selling anything less than 3.5 stars. And to be honest with you, sometimes even less than 4, I think is risky because of the potential return risk. So I'm going to say 4. And let's go 344. Yeah, availability of Amazon on the listing. We are looking to find products this time round where Amazon is not on the listing. So I'm going to deselect these. Do we have anything else that we want? So you could even say the package weight in grams. So if, the heavier the product, the more expensive it is to ship. So I might set that to a kilo if I wanted to. That's gotten rid of 2 products. To be honest with you, I think that's good. 260 products is definitely something we can go through. I hope you're enjoying the video so far, guys. Just wanted to jump in and let you know that if you're looking to work one-on-one with an Amazon mentor, we have a mentorship program. This is more for people with a larger budget, sort of £5,000 plus. So if you really want to grow a proper business and you want to do it a lot faster, click the link in the bio, schedule a call, and we'll see if we're a good fit for each other. Let's get back to the video. So I'm going to hit find products. When I'm going through this list, you're going to see a data set, kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. What you can do is you can actually configure these columns to only see what data you want to see. And then if you want to, you can even export this into a CSV, into an Excel document, and you can do your searching that way. If you ever need to go back and change your filters, you can select back here, but sometimes that resets them back to 0. So another way to do it is to hit advanced filter here, and you'll notice we've still got the filters from before and 260 products here. I'm just going to go back. Okay, so we see 100 products per row. This is where you can export it as a CSV or as an Excel document. And this is where I can see which filters I've selected to get these products. And then what we're going to do is one by one, we're going to go down this list, and I'm just going to hover over the names. So you can see the Keepa graph in the bottom right there. Unfortunately, if I move my mouse to highlight it in this section, it gets rid of it. So what we're looking for is we're looking for products where the pink line, the buy box line, is really stable. You can absolutely buy products where the buy box line is up and down as long as you do your analysis properly. But for the sake of this video, I'm looking for straight line. I know I can't sell Corsics because Corsics are on their own listings, but just for the sake of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control or Command if you're on Mac, and I'm going to click this one here, and it will open up the Amazon listing. I'm just going to close this one. And you can also just click this title here and it will expand the Keepa chart so you can analyze the deal this way. All of the presets you have in your filters. So for me, I always set my defaults to 3 months, and then I always check a month. I check all time to look for, any signs of IP violations on this listings. You're going to see those in this graph, but I want to do this analysis on the listing personally. So if I come on to this listing, I can see it sells 8,000 times in the past month. So it's a ridiculously fast selling product. It's in the top 1% BSR, 196 BSR score here based on my SellerAmp settings. So in these settings here, I've got my VAT status, I've got my prep fee, my inbound shipping fee. And based on all of that information, SellerAmp is telling me that I need to buy this product for £6.89, which if I click this, it will put it in here. I need to buy this for £6.89 to get £2 profit, 12% profit margin, 29% ROI. If I was to get this for, I don't know, £8, you can see that the ROI, the profit and the margin wouldn't be high enough. So this is why it's saying we need to get it for this price. If I scroll down, when you're doing your review of the listing, looking for other FBA sellers that have similar, you can actually see this is Corsics. This is the brand on the listing. I would always avoid selling products where the brand is on the listing, because at any point they can IP you, or they can just in general, they can undercut you because they're going to get it way cheaper than you are because they manufacture it. I'm looking for other FBA sellers that have similar ratings. So this one, It's an arbitrage seller, more than likely. This one doesn't have any reviews by the looks of it. Bad reviews, but still low. And core 6 again. Seeing FBA sellers on this listing is a sign that this product can be arbitraged, or it's a sign that people are buying it wholesale and there's authorized sellers on the brand. I might start following the FBA sellers who look like they're arbitrage sellers. I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you that in a different product because we don't want to sell this one. I'm just going to go down to Keepa. So you can see that the buy box, the pink line, if I just get rid of the pink line here, is really nice and stable. It's not jumping up and down. It's really nice and stable, and the likeliness of that is because the brand is on the listing. I can see the yellow line here saying that 8,000 were sold in the past month, and I can see the sales rank here. I like to have the sales rank for reference here. I like to see Amazon on the listing. So this orange graph, you can see that Amazon is actually on this listing quite often. They try and sell this product here for $26.99, but where it goes white here, you can see if I click and drag, I'm going to zoom in. These white gaps are where Amazon run out of stock on the listing. So what you will often find on a listing where Amazon is on the listing with other third-party sellers, when they go out of stock, the price will jump up, and often the buy box will actually go because other sellers are trying to sell the product for a lot more expensive now Amazon is not on the listing. In our search, we wanted to see products where Amazon is not on the listing. So if I click and drag again, you can see that recently they ran out of stock again. They've actually just come back in stock, but they run out pretty quickly. And if I double click, it just brings the graph back to normal. You can click and drag to zoom in and do more analysis. So let's just add those back. We can get a really good understanding of what's happening on this listing by this graph. These are the sellers on the listing. So if I go to all time, I can actually do an analysis on this product, and I can see if there's any signs that I shouldn't sell this product based on IP violations. Interestingly, the brand is on this listing, so I wouldn't sell it, but there's no actual signs of IPs here to me because there's no flat line drop-offs. This looks like it could be a flat line drop-off, but if I click and drag it here, you can actually see that it's more of a staircase. That kind of indicates normal selling habits of the sellers on the listing, where they're just selling out of their stock and maybe not replenishing. If it was a completely flat line from 20 sellers to 4 in a single day or a single instance, that to me is an indication that it could be an IP risk because it looks like the brand potentially sent out an IP violation. I can also check the ratings and the rating count from here. The only time I would ever do that as an arbitrage seller is if it's really hard to tell if this product is selling. I might just check the rating count over the month, and if I can see from the beginning of the month 52,656, end of the month 53,000, usually on Amazon about 100 sales happens before the product or the seller gets a review. So if you can see that seller count rising, that's an indication that the product is selling. It's not a guarantee, it's just an indication. So you just go through one by one. You can see the price is a bit unstable there, so I'm not going to explore that one. The price, the pink line, just dropped down recently, so I'm not going to do that one. This one potentially, I think CeraVe is a blocked brand, but let's have a look. 2,000 times in the past month, £18.24. I need to get it for £9.15. Yeah, this is an IP warning product. And let me just add this one back. Do the review. No indication on this specific listing. So sometimes what you'll find is a brand historically might have IP'd someone on a certain listing, which means Sellerand will update their database and say, hey, this brand IPs. But then if you look through all of their listings, you don't see any warnings of people being kicked off them. Sometimes the brand IPs on very specific listings, but on other ones they don't mind. So sometimes it's okay, and you kind of learn that as you go. You don't want to take too much risk in the beginning when your capital is low, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to take a bit of risk sometimes to make some money. So you can see the buy price, whilst it's up and down, is fairly stable. If I was to buy this product, I would want to be able to sell it at a profit at the lowest price in the last 3 months. So the lowest price here is £13.64, £12.99. So for me, I would want to know, can I sell this product at £12.99? It's actually inflated here. So you can see it's up to £20.28. And that's because, as we discussed earlier, Amazon has run out of stock on the listing. Does look like they came back in stock very temporarily here and then ran out of stock again. So whilst the price is $20.28, so we're going to put that in there. 2028, which means I'd have to get it for 1066. It might go down to 12.99, which would mean I have to get this product for £4.88, which is a lot less likely with arbitrage. So just bear that in mind. If you don't mind taking the risk and you can get it for I don't know, let's say £8, it might be worth it. Yeah, so it would be a small loss if you got this for £8 and you sold it for £12.99. It would be a small loss, but if you sold it at the price point it's at now, 2028, you would make a good profit. But just remember, inflated buy box price does not guarantee that you're going to sell it at that price. Okay, so we'll go down to the next one. La Roche-Posay, avoid that one. A6 stable price. Not sure if we can sell that one. Let's have a look. 1,000 bought in the past month. If ever you're on a listing and you don't know how much the product sells, always go by Amazon's data here first. Seller amp is okay, it's good, but if it's a variation, often it will split that sales count across all the variations, so you've just got to bear that in mind. Let's scrolly all time. I can't see any IP violation warnings based on the offer count there. It's got a really smooth buy box line. Just going to go into data and I'm going to check to see what brand is this. This was Axes Y. I said A6, didn't I? Okay, so I can't see the brand on the listing, but what I can do, I'm just going to scroll back up. I'm going to go to buy box statistics. I'm going to set it to 365 days, and I'm just going to see if I can find the brand on the listing at any point in its history, which doesn't look like I can. There's a lot of sellers on this historically, which is interesting. Scroll down. There we go. So when I'm looking, I said earlier I would show you the storefront sourcing side of it with a more appropriate listing. So when I'm looking at other FBA sellers on SellerAmp SaaS, I am looking at sellers that have between like 50 and 500, maybe 1,000 reviews. If they have a lot more than 1,000 reviews, the chances are their budget is a lot higher than mine, so I'm not even going to look. I want to find other sellers of the like. So I'm going to hit Control or Command on Mac, and I'm going to open the tab here. I'm going to go down to this one. They're too new. They got bad reviews. That one's okay. That one's good. That one's okay. Okay, so we've got a handful of sellers here that we can look into. It looks like this potentially could be a product that we're allowed to sell. We would need to get it for £4.88. Let's just go to the price in the last month. 12. Yeah, okay. So what we would do when we're trying to source it, we hit this Google button and then you can do your research and try to find it. Amazon don't accept Stylevana, so just bear that in mind. They don't accept their invoices and you can get cancelled orders from them. So personally, I wouldn't buy from them. I wouldn't risk it. And you would just go through Google Shopping. Definitely don't buy from AliExpress. Be very careful with OnBuy. I wouldn't buy from them. And just try and find that product cheap enough. Remember, with arbitrage, if you find, if I need to get this for £4.88 and I can find it somewhere for £6, often I will be able to find coupons, cashback, discount gift cards, and I will be able to bring that price down. So let's say I could find it for $5.50, for example, and then I found a 15% coupon code, so that would be times 0.85. Ooh, that would make it £4.67. Then I used the discount gift card from the place that was like 7%, let's say, so 0.93. And I personally wouldn't factor cash back in, but you also can get cash back in places. I don't factor that in because often cashback doesn't get acknowledged by the provider. So if you're using Top Cashback, Complete Savings, sometimes they don't register the cashback and you don't get it. And if you're buying the product where it's only profitable with the cashback, you can lose money. So I don't personally do that. So yeah, if you're able to find that for £6, use cashback, discount gift cards, coupons and everything, we could buy that cheap enough where it's profitable. Okay. Going back to the sellers that we found in the FBA listing here. So if we close that one and close that one. So now we've got some sellers storefronts and we can start storefront sourcing from SellerAmp SaaS coming from Keepa Product Finder. We can go by brand if we want. So Axis Y, and we can see that this seller has 2 of their products, or Zara, 2 of their products. If this seller has products that I can find, sell, and make profit on, I would bookmark them and I would come back to them regularly to just see what they're buying, where they're buying it from. Everything in Amazon is building a database. So I'm keeping track of the brands I can sell, the brands I can't sell, the sellers who are good, the sellers who are bad. I'm keeping track of the products that I really like to buy and where I'm buying them from and at what time of year I'm buying them from. You know, sometimes a lot of Amazon is finding leads that will be profitable for you, but by the time you found them, they're not profitable yet. So setting up trackers and keeping a database, that's how you make money in this game. And that's how often you'll find a lead where it's very clear people have bought the product and arbitraged it, but you're catching it a bit too late. So if that happens, you can tell by the Keepa graph. If that happens, set up a tracker. Try and figure out where they bought it from. Set up a tracker on the retailer, set up a tracker on Keepa, and just be alerted next time. So when it comes on offer again, you can be part of the early buyers who makes money from it. So because this person only has 2 brands, I don't think they're going to be a good seller for me to storefront source from. F&F. We can go brand by brand, you know, estimated 3 sales per month. I'm just going to do the same analysis from this page. I wouldn't sell that personally. This doesn't have an estimated sales per month and it has a very high sales rank, even in the top 1% BSR one. So this one to me looks like potentially it's a wholesale seller, maybe not. Yeah, I think potentially this is a wholesale seller, so I'm going to ignore that one. You will get to a point where you'll be able to figure out which sellers are arbitrage and which ones are wholesale, and it's the arbitrage ones that you want to follow, because obviously that's what we're talking about in this video. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that one as well. And yeah, you can do your analysis. So this one sells 900 times, I have to buy it for £3.34, and I can just hit Google and I can do my searching from this one here. What is it? 120 mils. So I would go through the Google shopping and I would do my best to find this. I would go through brand by brand, as I say, keep track of the ones you find, and then go back to your list. That's how you keep a product finder. You will get to a point where you realize you hit a lot of dead ends with it, and that's just because it takes time. You want to build up that database and then come back here with specific brands in mind that you know work and specific seller IDs. So if I go back to advanced filter and we scroll down, scroll seller IDs. So you can see from this section, I'm just going to hit Control-Shift-T to reopen previous tabs. I can actually take seller IDs from the URL and I can put them in here and I can storefront source specifically from that seller's store. So you can do that. You get a lot more refined searches. I will actually cover that in a different video, but I didn't want to, I wanted to keep this one a bit focused on Keep a Product Finder. If you have any questions or you'd like to know more, let us know in the comments. We actually have one-on-one coaching for Amazon arbitrage sellers. So if you'd like to get involved, let us know. And we've been getting amazing results from people on the server. YouTube thinks you're going to like this video. And if you want to see any other videos like this, just let us know in the comments. We will see you next week.